Well, despite an extension to Thursday's Brexit deadline, systems to handle delays outside Dover have been activated. Operation Brock means one side of the M20 into the port is reserved exclusively for lorries heading across the channel, while all other traffic in both directions is squeezed into the other side. Well, to discuss why it's in place and the impact it's having, I'm joined by the Road Haulage Association's Head of Policy, Rod McKenzie. Rod, very good morning to you. What's actually going on?
Good morning, Michael. Well, I understand this morning that Brock is actually going to be suspended, which is obviously new news. And we've not got this officially confirmed, but from my sources at the DFT, it's probably going to be suspended today, so everything will go back to normal.
What was the point of it? Was it just because there was a possibility that there might be the situation for which Brock is designed?
That's exactly right. So the government planning, the government machine, if you like, has been moving towards this. We're going to leave the EU on Thursday plan. And of course, moving parallel to that are the events in the House of Commons, which of course everyone knows and has followed on the news. But the civil service is sometimes a little bit robotic, so it has continued to work on the principle that we would be leaving on Thursday, even though probably by the weekend it looked increasingly unlikely that we would leave.
Okay, so just keep us going, though, with the background of everything. So first of all, I think both sides of the channel have sort of said that they are more or less prepared for the worst. What do your members feel about that?
Well, I think there's a great deal of confusion. Our members are confused about what's happening, what the planning is, what was in place for a no-deal Brexit, the form filling, which was epic in scale. And, it was an extremely difficult and confusing situation. So, frankly, Brock being suspended will be a relief. But, you were asking about what the mechanics of Brock was. For those who don't know, it was simply a device to control lorry traffic on the M20 heading for Dover, so that Dover and the surrounds and the motorways would not become congested, because lorries could be filtered off and parked up, including at Manston Aerodrome, where they could be properly and systemically released in an organised way. That's the theory. I think it probably wouldn't have worked terribly well.
Okay, and as far as other ports are concerned, what's the movement on that? Because at the time, I think we probably had the conversation actually, there was a thought, wasn't there, that hauliers might be trying to seek practical alternatives to Dover. I mean, looking at a map, but there's the rest are pretty far away. But what's the progress on that?
Well, it's always been less attractive to haulage and logistics to use other ports than Dover-Calais for the very simple, practical reason that it's, the continent's only 20 miles away that way, and it's a very short crossing. Whereas if you look at all the other crossings, South Coast, East Coast, etc., it's quite a few hours in many cases, and there simply aren't as many crossings. So, it's not practical. And what do we all want? We want what we want now, today, tomorrow, whenever it is. And we've become so used to that, there is this kind of mood of impatience when it comes to deliveries, and logistics people have to meet that demand. So an alternative to Dover-Calais was never really going to be terribly attractive for most hauliers.
Like most of us, you wait to see, don't you, Rod? Thanks very much indeed. Thanks for joining us. That was Rod McKenzie, Head of Policy at the Road Haulage Association.